Hey guys, Mickey Mouse here, and today I think I'm going to tell you a story. So my story begins like all great stories begin, at 10 years old. I lived in Texas at the time, and it would get super fucking hot during the summers. And I mean hot, like hot enough to cook an egg on the sidewalk. Anyways, because of this fucking heat, many kids would go swimming in the middle of summer, myself included. So one day in the middle of summer, when I was 10 years old, the temperature got to 106 degrees. That day, one of my friends who happened to live on a lake invited me over. He had a deck that was 2 stories high, and it was super fucking fun to jump off of. So I packed my SpongeBob fucking SquarePants swimsuit, I packed some snacks, and I headed over to his house. I arrived around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was pretty fucking late. So that day we decided just to play, some fucking games, some fucking Xbox, and whatever else was popular at that time. I don't really fucking remember. So us being kids, we stayed up till like 3 in the fucking morning, and we woke up at 2 in the afternoon. That day we decided to go swimming, and we headed down towards his private dock. Now, as I mentioned earlier, his dock was fucking lit, okay? Being a 10-year-old, it was probably the best fucking dock that I'd ever seen. Not only did it have 2 stories, but it also had one of those fucking slides that comes down off the 2nd floor. We just swam like normal for a while, and then we decided to start jumping off the 2nd floor. On one of my jumps off the 2nd floor, I somehow managed to get a fucking splinter. That splinter ended up causing so many problems for me. I didn't really think about it at the time because it was a fucking splinter, and I was able to pull it out with my hands, so it didn't really seem like much of a problem. Anyways, we stopped swimming around 7 o'clock and my mom came to pick me up. I didn't mention anything about the splinter because it was a fucking splinter and I'd had plenty of them. I thought I'd be fine, and I just didn't fucking say anything. The next day I woke up in my bed. It was a Monday, so I was headed to fucking school, and I started getting ready. While I was putting on one of my socks, I realized that the fucking place where the splinter went in was a little bit red, so I showed my mom and she put some fucking antiseptic on it. Anyways, I went to fucking school, and, normal shit happened. Timmy got his lunch money stolen, that kind of shit. So it was a pretty fucking simple day. When it was 3 o'clock, my mom came to pick me up, and she asked me about the splinter, so I showed her. The splinter looked a lot better, and it looked kind of like it was calming down, so that was okay. We went home, and it was a pretty normal day. I sat down on the couch, watched some fucking cartoons, ate some fucking Fruit Loops, and finally headed to fucking bed. When I woke up in the morning and got ready, I realized that my fucking splinter was actually starting to get swollen again, okay? So I put some more antiseptic on it, a band-aid on top of it, and I headed to fucking school. Now, everything was fine all the way up until about recess, which is like, 12 o'clock-ish, okay? During recess, I realized that the splinter was starting to hurt again, and I went to the fucking nurse. She said there wasn't anything fucking in it, and that it was fine, not to worry about it, it was just a normal splinter, okay? After that, the day went exactly like it did on Monday. My mom came to pick me up, we went home, I watched some fucking TV, and I went to bed. The next day I woke up and got out of bed. I started walking and I noticed that the splinter hurt a lot fucking more than it did the night before. I looked down at it and this thing was fucking swollen. Now when I say swollen, I don't mean any of that fucking like I got a paper cut swollen. I mean like a fucking infection swollen, okay? So I went to my mom and she called the doctor to make an appointment for the next day. I then proceeded to head to school, just a normal day, I went to school, Timmy got his fucking lunch money stolen again. After that, my mom picked me up again, and I came back to watch some fucking TV. Then I went to bed, but the fucking splinter was still hurting like fucking crazy. The next day, I slept to about 8:30 because I had a fucking doctor's appointment at 11, and I didn't need to go to school that day. When I woke up, I realized that the fucking splinter was fucking killing me. It was literally the fucking most pain I've ever been in. Now granted, I only really had this fucking pain when I was walking on it, but it was painful as shit. It was also really fucking swollen, and there's a whole bunch of fucking nasty shit coming out of it. When 11 o'clock came around, we headed to the fucking doctor and checked in. After a while of waiting, the doctor finally fucking saw us, and he immediately said that I had a serious fucking infection and needed to go to the emergency room. Now at this point I thought I was getting fucking memed on, okay? I mean, I was 10 years old and I didn't really think it was possible for me to get something, fucking life-threatening. Regardless, as soon as we heard this, we headed straight to the fucking emergency room. When we got there, we checked in, and I'm still in fucking shock, okay? Once checked in, they brought me up this fucking back elevator to my room, which was on like the third or fourth floor, I don't fucking remember. All I remember is that it was really fucking painful walking, and it was a fucking relief when I laid on the hospital bed. Pretty soon, some nurses came in and they put a needle in my arm to allow an IV to go in, because they needed to put me on some antibiotics that were gonna fucking try to help fight this fucking infection. So from here on out, it might be a little bit blurry. I don't really remember all that much of it because I was on some pretty heavy antibiotics and painkillers. So I'm just gonna try to talk about what I do remember. Basically, once they stuck the IV in me, my original doctor that said I needed to go to the emergency room showed up. And you guys know me, I was fucking like, "Hey doc, how's it fucking going, okay?" He was a little bit more serious though, okay? You could tell he was a little bit worried, and he just wanted to make sure that I was doing okay. Also later that day, I got a fucking present. I don't know if this present like a lot of people get when they go to the emergency room, but I got a bag filled with fucking cards from my classmates telling me to get well soon. That night I had some hospital food, and I don't know if it's the fucking drugs talking, but it was fucking delicious, okay? I would still rate it right now as probably, one of the fucking top 10 dishes I've ever had, and I don't know if it was because I was on painkillers and stuff, but it was delicious. After that, everything went pretty fucking normal. The nurse came in a few times to change my IV bags and just to, overall see how I was fucking doing. The next morning I woke up and my leg looked a little bit worse. This got me worrying because I didn't know what the fuck was happening, and most of the stuff that the doctors were saying I either didn't understand or they were fucking not telling me. This is probably all in good fucking practice, considering that if they said I was gonna fucking die or something, I would have freaked the fuck out. The doctors came in, they were trying different fucking IV solutions. Now what I figured out from this is that the night before, the IV that they used probably either didn't work or helped very little. So they were trying to find some type of solution to try to, help me fucking get through this. Now of course I didn't know this at the time, I just thought they were fucking switching out the IV bags. All of this was told to me after the fact, because they didn't want to freak me out or make me, nervous or anything. The day went normal past that, except for my dad stopped by. He brought me a Rubik's Cube to play with, which was pretty fucking lit. After that he stayed a little bit, and then the rest of the night went pretty fucking normal. The next day I woke up, I had some fucking improvement in my condition. My foot looked a little bit better, and overall I felt like I was getting better. This was really great for me because I was starting to get fucking scared, basically. A few of my friends stopped by that day and said hi, but later that night I was released and got to go home. When I got home, my parents told me everything. They said that the doctors tried to use a certain type of, I forgot what it was called, a certain type of solution on me, and it didn't fucking work. So that was kind of fucking stressful. Luckily though, they did find something to fix me, and I'm here today to make videos. Now that I look back, I probably could have done something to either help fix it or prevent me from getting to that situation in the first place. It would have definitely been a smart move for me to put some antibiotic or antiseptic on it right whenever I got the fucking splinter out. Overall, it taught me a lesson, and I'm happy that it fucking happened. Not that I almost died, but that I fucking got to, get a lesson from it. For the last minute, I want to talk about something that I've been doing recently. Recently, I've been live streaming on Twitch, and mostly just CSGO, stuff like that, games I enjoy. If you guys want to check me out, my Twitch is buddy_games TV. Again, I mostly just do gaming commentary while I'm playing fucking video games, so if you want to check that out, that would be great. Otherwise, thank you guys for fucking watching, and I'll see you guys next time.